Hi, my name is Daniel Avutia, and I'm a geotechnical engineer at SRK Consulting. I would say passionate, inquisitive, multi-talented, and very ambitious. From a young age, I took a liking to maths and science, and I'd also put it down to my trip to the UK and Paris, where I was exposed to the Eiffel Tower and the amazing infrastructure. Okay, I had my peer review about a month ago on the 18th of June, and I really think the PR is really important, as you tend to get, recognition from your peers and competence and being part of an internationally statutory body like AXA. I'm a geotechnical engineer, so I'm more involved in soil and rock mechanics. But my current role now is in more rock mechanics. It would definitely have to be the coal face exposure that I got in the Northern Cape on the road rehabilitation project. The steep learning curve, definitely. I mean, coming out of varsity, you need probably 5 to 10 years experience to be put in a role like that. And being put in a role like that after 2 years was just testament to the faith they had in me and the ambition that I showed. And yes, I mean, it was a really challenging project. While adapting to all the site conditions and the quality assurance and quality control procedures that I needed to do. And basically, you're coming out of varsity and you haven't been exposed to any of this. So it's almost like you're reading and working and learning on the job. And then you have to have a team reporting to you as well. So actually almost like a managerial position as well, and the responsibility that was associated with the role. On that particular project, it was the water shortage first of all. So now the construction program had to be tailored to almost anticipate how much water would have. So availability of materials wasn't really a problem, but because it was such an arid and secluded area in the Northern Cape, we had to make weekly in advance orders for material, and then water sources were about 50 to 100 kilometers depending on the actual area where we were doing the construction. So managing that and quality assurance and having people report to you, and just the responsibility that was associated with the role. So being fresh out of varsity with 2 years experience under my belt and being put into assistant resident engineer role, which required 5 to 10 years experience, just showed the faith that my company had in me and the steep learning curve that was associated with it, because you're having half a dozen people reporting to you and you're managing procedures on the road as well in the office, and the balance, and the actual demand of site supervision was really challenging.
Okay.
It would definitely be when I presented at the Global Geotechnical Engineering Conference in Shanghai last year. It was 500 to 600 delegates, and being the only African representative as well at the conference, with predominantly North American and European delegates, that was really one of my biggest achievements. And then being selected, my paper was selected as one of the top papers in the conference, and it was included in the American Society of Civil Engineers Geotechnical Special Publications. So that was definitely my biggest achievement to date. Okay, well, I've always aspired to be a global leader in the field of engineering. So I approached some technical leaders within the South African engineering fraternity, and they mentioned to me the problems faced with dolomite subsidence in South Africa, and it was one of the biggest challenges encountered in the engineering fraternity at large. So I undertook and started my research in 2012, and I was doing this part-time while working, and I mean, it generally took 24 months, but the actual paper writing process itself probably took about 10 months of writing, consulting, researching, getting references, and putting it all together. Okay, I won the national lecture competition, which is engineers under the age of 28 presenting a 15-minute presentation on an engineering subject. And basically, I'll be competing against the other 5 continents. And I mean, I really think I have a chance of winning the competition, and it'll put me in good stead because there'll be lots of people at the conference who will be interacting with us, and just the exposure, especially for me as an engineer aspiring to be a global leader. I really think it's one of the stepping stones, getting your name out there. And I mean, additionally, in May, I was at the international conference in Montreal. That was a rockball competition where I also represented Africa, and that was amazing exposure as well. Well, definitely at the moment, I would say from a bottom up, it's probably the apathy towards maths and science from tertiary education, even school education. I mean, people just have it holds like a negative, connotation, and students are reluctant to pursue that. So it is almost our role to inspire them and give back and go and present to high schools and universities. And for more a top engineering priority would be probably to start the maintenance and emphasize the maintenance of municipal services like roads and water infrastructure, because I mean economic growth is definitely associated to how your infrastructure is, and it is hampering the economic growth of the continent at large. It will definitely be, the problem-solving nature of it, because someone approaches you with a problem, and you're almost helping communities directly, and you see the end result once you've completed the project. So, in a nutshell, I would say it's definitely community upliftment and actually directly helping communities. Okay, well, my dad's a doctor, and my mom's a sole proprietor. And I've got 2 brothers. One's a management accountant, and my younger brother is studying information systems in the US. Well, I'm the middle child, so yeah, I don't get enough attention, so that's why I've got a lot of time to work. It'll definitely be watching rugby, cricket, soccer. I'm a sports fanatic. I went to the Rugby World Cup in New Zealand, went to Brazil for the Soccer World Cup, and I'll be going to London for the Rugby World Cup in October. So yes, I mean, from the age of 6, I played rugby. I played provincial rugby from in high school, and then I played a bit in university. So I'd definitely say I enjoy tracking sports and watching sports in my free time, and then also keeping track with residential properties throughout the country. Well, I have a very strict routine. I wake up at 4 a.m. every day, and I've had 4 operations due to rugby. Oh, those are probably the most unique things about me. Well, I definitely think it boils down to your attitude and aspiring to be the best at what you can do, not only in a national context, not continental, but globally. So you always have to aspire to be innovative, and hardworking, and aspire for greatness. So don't rest on your laurels, don't do the bare minimum, just strive for excellence, and it almost becomes a habit. Strive for excellence, I mean, globally, not nationally. Yeah, reach for the stratosphere, because that's got no boundaries.
Okay.
I'm involved in the risk-based design of open pit mines, which entails considering the safety and economic impacts of steepening a slope. And this generally we look at the geology, the rock structures, the rock mass, and the geohydrology. And SRK are the global leaders in this field, as we offer, most unique and viable solutions towards open pit mining. Well, in SRK, we've really got a flat structure. So above me, I've got a project reviewer who's a technical leader. And then below me, it's more like drafts people and like junior engineers that you guide in the work process, but it's really flat structured, and we do get a lot of responsibility because we look at the monetary aspects and the technical aspects of projects. Okay, President's Award is basically what I'd call it as a community-based, community upliftment, empowerment organization that goes into underprivileged homes and does painting, cleaning, teaching. So I was definitely involved in that from school, and I was awarded the Gold Award for President's Award, where you've completed 100 hours of community service. And then generally over the last 24 months, I've been invited to lecture students and just give them a background on my role and what I do on the daily, and in order just to inspire them and give them a feel of what it entails to be an engineer.
That you do?
Well, I mentor university students, and from my high school as well. They've got a mentorship work shadowing program, so I've been in contact with a few students and answered a few questions on what they need to do to enroll into engineering at university, and what the on-job, exposure and what would be required of you as an engineer.
Lovely. Anything?
Well, first of all, from my dad's perspective, my dad basically had scholarships throughout high school and university, and he was basically raised by missionaries because my grandfather passed away when he was 4. So, I mean, for him, his passion was always to study engineering, but because he was on a scholarship, he had to pursue medicine, as his burses, forced him. So it's almost like I'm living his dream. So through me, he's living his dream through me now. And then my mom got financially retired at the age of 50. She basically is a sole proprietor. She flips properties. She owns a school and educates people in the Eastern Cape, yeah.
Wow. How old is your mom now?
My mom is 59 at the moment. And yeah, she's still working and still inspiring me to reach for the stratosphere.
Really? Wow.